Hello everyone, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Yesterday we went and did an orbit of the moon and came back fairly comfortably. We have the most science we've ever had, not surprising of course, to spend on sort of whatever we want. And I think what it might be nice to do today is to go to Minmus, which is about as easy as going to the moon. Except that it's also easy to land. So the other thing is, like, what might be nice, I know they're telling me to land on the moon, it's so hard. What might be nice is to figure out like how I can friggin' take off though without sucking at it, right? That would be a dream. And so I'm kind of just looking at like, what if I just took some bigger rocket parts? This, would probably let me get into orbit without having to do the transition to the liquid fuel, which for some reason, because of center of mass, basically, instantly topples my ship. And also, everything would be bigger, so maybe it wouldn't topple anymore? I don't know. So give me this. And we don't really need these very, very tiny engines. If I'm gonna land something on, like, the moon, it's gonna be bigger than this. If I land something on Minmus, like, you can just land whatever you want, basically. It doesn't have to be that small. Bigger fuel tanks would be nice. And the other thing is, this is where we start, like, unlocking Rockomax stuff, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, advanced construction. Yes, this is a stack tri-coupler, which I definitely have used in my past playthroughs. And there's not really much else I want, except for maybe some electronics. Yeah, we don't particularly need an especially small. So we could take, like, electrics, right, which has solar panels, which should help. And also lights for landing. Here we go. Advanced constructions. This has adapters to, like, Rockomax parts somewhere, right? Maybe I already have that? I don't know. Oh no, this is right. That's the one with the, yeah. Here's the Rockomax adapter. We already have one. This is a one that fits better, I guess. Anyway, and give me this thing. We'll figure it out. So, all right. Let's just try building something here instead of what I claimed I would do, which is like build stuff off camera, right? So we're building, like, okay, a top level thing. Great. And it's going to be, well, first it needs some science, which I guess wants to be in a payload thing. That's not payload, this is payload. I do like the protective shells, they're such fun, right? You can build your own fairing shapes, right? Very neat. Build a fairing shaped like this if you want. Not ultimately like a shape you would use for anything, but you can do it. How do I pick this up and get rid of it? Oh, here, I see. Anyway, that's not what we want. We just need 2 service bays. Under it, a heat shield, and presumably just a normal decoupler. This one, right? Yeah. Cool. And instead of the Science Junior, I wonder if it might be better to just bring an actual scientist, but let's not. And in this upper stage, which optimistically we might call the lander stage, but probably it's more like just the lunar stage in general, we want some fuel, I guess. Is this enough? I think I'll try to put twice. I'll try to get away with twice as much. And then under it, an engine. Where are those? Here they are. And I believe the Terrier is like still the best bet for vacuum operations. There you go. Now, let's have a look at that tri-coupler. Oh, it's not a tri-coupler, it's a tri-adapter? Structural? It is a stacked tri-coupler, I guess. Ah, yes. I always feel like this should be a Rockomax part because it's so big, but it's not. And so, in fact, you know, the bits that fit on there are not Rockomax parts, but other parts. Alright, forget it. I want to just use like a giant engine, is what I want to use. Like, give me... Oh, Rockomax adapter. Oh, the smaller one, please. Is this upside down? There we go. So that we can fit a couple of these bad boys on here. This is absurdly large, much more than necessary. But let's say that, right? Like, how could you go wrong with all that fuel? And on the bottom, I think Skipper is pretty good, or is that too small? Looks right. What's the difference between the Skipper and the Poodle? The Skipper... Oh, Poodle wants to go in vacuum, really, right? Skipper is much better at sea level. Huh. They're both... I mean... This just does... This is good everywhere, right? How about efficiency? ISP 280, 320. Huh. So this one is specialized to vacuum. And this one kind of just goes anywhere. Alright, well, we'll put in a Skipper, I guess. What that is, right? Yeah. Okay. And just put a couple of... decouplers on here with our new largest solid boosters attached. Right? Seems okay. I mean, this doesn't... Oh, it does fit on those, because those aren't Rockomax parts. Those are just... Oh, so I could actually put them on a normal decoupler, I think. Sure. So, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward rocket. It needs some fins. We like these guys, right? No, that's a lifting surface. We like these guys. Control surfaces, even though I don't really understand the difference. Fins there. Fins there. Hoping that I don't really need a reaction wheel for this part. Like, I could put one on if I had to. We need some electrical parts. Notably, like... How big is this? It's pretty small. Just slap a battery on the side, if you would. Up, here? Like, I don't mind losing it once I'm done with the top stage, I think. And solar panels here as well. So, nothing too ambitious. I guess we could put 4 batteries on? It's not like we're dying for money or weight. Oh, that's 2. Oh, why don't I just put these all on 4x instead of putting down 2 2s, you idiot? This is the fuel tank, right? Yeah, so it definitely won't be jettisoned until... Oh, I need a decoupler here, don't I? Yes. Right under the heat shield. Okay. Now, I want some landing legs, and I don't have anything very good in terms of landing legs. But just in case we do actually make it to the moon... That's what we're going to try to land on. Now, the engine is down there, and this is what bothers me. Is that... Suppose we've decoupled. It's going to look like this, with the engine sticking out more than the landing legs, right? Which is not how legs are supposed to work. I think I can get away with this. Any lower, and they would be knocked out by the decoupler, I think. Right, I need to put them somewhere where they can fit, even without a decoupler. If I put them any lower than this, they should go with the decoupler, I think. I'm just going to do this. I can't quite get them to line up, like, radially the way I want, but... And then throw this on. Retract you guys. I'm gonna want a parachute. Oh my gosh, I have so many things now. Oh, some lights! I can put lights on. Where's my parachute? There it is. It would be tempting to bring along one of those, wouldn't it? Hang on. Let's pull off the decoupler for now. So I can figure out where I'm putting the lights after this stage, or when this stage is all that's left. I think I just want like a couple of illuminators around here, basically. What's the deal with these? They're maybe bigger than necessary. Dome light, no thanks. Spotlight? No. I just want some illuminators like that. And you... Oh, they blink. What? Why? Archaea. What is the difference between these two? This one is wider, I guess. It doesn't shoot as far, but it is wider. I guess we want this one. Oh, blink off. Well, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what it looks like blinking. Doesn't look to me like it's blinking. You guys see it blinking? In either of these configurations? I'm gonna turn off... Well, whatever. We can always configure it in flight, right? Okay. So... we then need some science modules on the top and some communication stuff, which we can actually use because I have electricity. Did I put the Science Junior in there? No. There, Just 2 mystery goos, I think, is plenty. 1 barometer. Not in front of the hatch, thank you. And a thermometer next to it. I always feel like this is a reasonable setup. You know, bringing a scientist would let you make use of a lot more of this stuff. That's how you really, I think, like, should grind out science and not rely on a pilot to do your burns and so on for you. But it's so much easier, and I'm so bad at this game. So, like, I think this might be a finished rocket. Right? It looks okay. What I should do maybe is, just for aesthetic reasons... ooh, I like the yellow. I don't know why. Just like... Actually, I don't. I was kind of hoping I'd get something just like a little blander. Okay, whatever. You guys... Well, let's ask about my delta V calculations and stuff. About this. Okay, I need to fix up my staging before it'll even tell me anything useful. The bottom stage, I want these, but also this engine. Okay. Decouple that. Later... Ah, I need another decoupler in here, don't I? That's an adapter. There's no decoupler. Because I do want this top stage to be able to be separate from the bottom, unsurprisingly. So, let's put in, where are the decouplers? Here they are. Oh, that's too small. This one. Right? Am I crazy? No, we do want the 12. Okay. So that's the Terrier. That's the adapter. We want a decoupler right under it. Is that... Am I... That one's clearly way too big, right? Yeah, it looks absurd. Okay, great. So we have a decoupler there. Okay. Now, in the bottom stage... No, don't decouple this immediately. No? So pull out these, then this, and also fire this engine as you do so. Finally, I put 2 decouplers here. Why? I guess I was confused about where the engines were going to be. Makes sense to have one right under the heat shield. What is this one? It's in the service bay? Where's this so-called decoupler that you're triggering in there? You go in there. Like, how do I delete this part? What is this hashtag? Oh, numeric instead of okay. Okay, so there's a decoupler there. And if I do this, there's still a decoupler somewhere. But I can't find it. Service bay is empty. Oh, wait a minute. The whole rocket is taken apart, but there's still a decoupler stage right here. Not part of that. It is part of this somehow. I'm just throwing that away. Give me 2 new service bays. I don't know what's going on with those. Put the science thing in them. There's still no decouplers. That's what I wanted. Put on a heat shield. Still no decouplers. By the way, we can tone this down to like half. What the heck is force percent? I don't know. Now we put on our decoupler. And then this stage, right? Look less insane now? Whatever this is, make it go away. So we launch the bottom stage, which is both of these rockets. We decouple these guys, then we decouple the bottom stage and fire the top stage. Eventually, we decouple the bottom, or the top stage, leaving just the science and, let's say, the payload and pilot. And then we return home with the pilot. Now, I don't understand these readings. I guess what this is saying is that my boosters, if I fired both of these things full throttle, the side boosters and the central lifter, full throttle, then I would only get 1,300 meters per second out of it. And then I would have 3,400 from just the central bit, which is nice. And then much, much less from the top stage. Like, wow, nothing. You can't do anything with 400 meters per second. Not even on the moon. You need more than that to orbit and deorbit. Okay, well, good to know. So I guess I need more fuel, or maybe get rid of the Science Junior. It is awfully heavy, I guess. What if I took it off? 539 meters per second. So it's not actually costing us that much in terms of the top stage anyway. Is the Science Junior even in there? Yes. So what we need then, I think, is more fuel on this? That does not seem right. Oh, you know what? Landers want to be squat, not spindly. Right. So, I should split this apart into... Alright, I'm going to cut here and show you guys the result in a minute. Alright, so we're back. And I've sort of tried to make a lander that has a bit more oomph, although honestly it's still not much. Right? Only 788 meters per second. But maybe that's enough once you're in moon orbit, which this thing has the ability to do. I'm almost thinking like this thing might have enough oomph to get to the moon and back. Like, all of my power is on that thing. Although I don't think it does. I think I've just built like I've spent a ton of very expensive parts, and I don't even really have that much delta V. I mean, that's the tyranny of the rocket equation, right? But I feel like it shouldn't have been that bad. Anyway, so I tried to give the lander stage kind of 5 small fuel tanks, 4 central ones around this here, and the engine here for it. I also tried to put this whole thing in a fairing, but we don't yet know how to build fairings that go out that far, so no such luck. I guess I could put some nose cones on this in that case. There you go. So this way the lander is going to be a lot more stable. And the whole rocket won't be as tall. I suspect I still have some center of mass problems. I didn't even really check. But whatever. I mean, like, how much thrust... Alright, I know I said I was done with... Now I have to look at everything. These guys generate, like, 600 kilonewtons each. So, let's say 2 of them is 1,200 kilonewtons. And this is a skipper, right? So it's generating as much as one of these. So we could... We could maybe run these guys a bit cooler. I also added a little bit more fuel because otherwise these things were bumping up into the lander stage. I don't know. I think we don't have enough fuel in the lander stage, but I also don't really want to try to double up on the fuel. Maybe I should, but I won't. We'll see what happens. And I moved all of the stuff, the landing and electronics accessories to these little 4 cans here. We've got the legs, the solar panels, the batteries, and the lights. And I don't know if it really does anything, but I attached... Yeah, there's really no reason for this, because these aren't separate. I attached fuel lines from here to here, the idea being that we empty these first and run the spare fuel into the center. But that would only really matter if we were going to decouple these when we're done with them, right? So... let's just get rid of that. Okay. I think it's awful. Awful moon lander. There you go. So let's save it. And just go check real quick if there are any interesting contracts along the way that I should really be doing. Like, explore the moon? We should take that one. That's what we're trying to do. And there is somewhere, I believe, a moon science? Like, explore near the moon? I guess that one might have expired. Okay, I guess not. Alright. So, that's fine. Oh wait, did I take this one already? No, oh, this is, never mind, that's crazy. So let's try launching that? Launch. I foresee one of 2 problems with this rocket. One is we just don't have, like, the rocket flips over at some point fairly early in the takeoff process. 2, we get to the moon, but the lander is too under... Oh, we were going to go to Minmus. Well, I can always decide once I get into orbit where I'm going, right? Technically, it would be better to know ahead of time so you can, you know, angle your takeoff before. You can choose your orbital plane on your way up instead of after you get up there. It would be free if we're going to Minmus to launch like here or whatever Minmus's orbital plane is, but we're not that fancy. So, all right, let's just see how dreadful this is. And we're throttling at like 1/3 or something. Oh, and remind me how my delta V looks. So most of my power is in this big old fuel tank, which makes sense. But these guys, yeah. So this is counting the combined bottom stage. One thing I should learn at some point, actually, maybe it'll just tell me, is how much delta V does it take to get out of Kerbal orbit? Yeah, go to the Space Center. Just tell me that, because I can look at... I think R&D would tell me stuff about this. Tell me about Kerbal. Oh, this is just archives of science data I've done. I don't care about that. Okay, the tracking center, then? space objects. Kerbal. Parameters. Escape velocity, 3,400 meters per second. So, yeah, that's sort of a problem, right? Well, I guess that says that my bottom stage can get me to escape Kerbal. And I don't even want to do that, right? I just need to get to the moon. Which... Ah, get out of here. Is there some way this would tell me how fast the moon is orbiting around Kerbal? Because that's how fast I would need to go, kind of? But it's not really. Not at all. Alright, I have no idea. But we have enough power in our lower stage to escape Kerbal orbit. And that's a lot more than I want to do. Well, it's a little more than I want to do. Because getting to the moon is a big percentage of the way to escaping, I think. Minmus practically is escaping. Alright, well, we'll just fly it and see what happens. Continue? I already have something here, don't I? I thought I launched something, I guess not. Oh, there it is. Fly. It left SAS on all this time. Good thing we have solar panels, huh? Alright, well, here's hoping. Double check. This all looks good. 3, 2, 1, lift. Oh. Well, it doesn't have to go fast. But it wouldn't hurt maybe to throttle up this middle rocket. Which is doing most of the lifting. These guys are just to help us get off the ground, I suppose. It really is a much slower takeoff than my last rockets. Maybe I need a bigger engine here? Wow. I thought these Rockomax parts... Can you hold it there, please? Not really, huh? Don't you dare! Alright, just hold it prograde if you can, please. It's too hard for me to balance. Okay. It's not tipping yet. We're way off the orbital plane I wanted. Maybe that'll be good news if that happens to be the direction Minmus is in? My speed is just dreadful. Even at full power, I'm barely able to push this rocket. But I guess I have a lot of fuel. And eventually, we'll start having less fuel, so this will start doing more. Why... No, don't go over there. And if you want to go straight up, I guess it's okay. But I'd rather you just kind of went prograde. Can we settle for that compromise, maybe? Back to SAS. Try to get more on this orbital plane. On the 90. You don't like that, huh? Show me my... Apoapsis is 25. It really seems like this is a worse rocket than the last one. Can we, like, tip over a bit? You don't like that, huh? Well, I mean, we're getting close to 70 kilometers up. And we're still packing a lot of fuel. A small fraction of what we left with, but a lot in absolute terms. Why don't you just get to prograde before things get worse? How's it looking? We're mostly out of the atmosphere. What a dumb rocket. I mean, in some sense, even if this just gets us into orbit, it's, like, better than before, because we couldn't even get into orbit with a smaller upper stage. Why are you pivoting weird? Don't do that. Oh, my apoapsis is way too high. Okay. We've achieved something resembling an orbit. It's just my apoapsis is over there, and I didn't notice it getting too high. So, I don't know. In some sense, this is an improvement over the last one, because we pulled a larger upper stage into orbit, and we haven't used any of its fuel yet. Right? I think it's a larger upper stage, but it's not really. It just has slightly more fuel, but a lot more weight. So I think its delta V is actually pretty horrible. You can forget SAS for now. What's my altitude right now? Almost out of the atmosphere. Well, certainly a slower launch than we're used to. I think I would start by not thrust limiting the boosters at all. And having this thing push full bore the whole way, just so I don't spend so long fighting the atmosphere. It's not like I was pushing against it wastefully hard, right? Barely moving. Okay, so let's get prograde here. It sure does pivot slowly when I'm just using the reaction wheel, huh? The built-in command pod's reaction wheel, and not the engines of the rocket. But pretty soon we'll be done with this stage, so I don't mind waiting. We just want to burn until our periapsis is no longer in the atmosphere, and then we can play around a bit more. Look at it just struggling. Good thing I started the turn so early. All right, we can fire now. There you go. That was it. And where do we want to get to? How much delta V do I have left? Oh my god, stage 2 has way more delta V than it said it did. They claimed I only had like 500 meters of delta V up there. I don't know how it was calculating that. Did I look at that before fixing the staging or something? Okay. Well, that's actually a lot. Isn't it? So let's say we want to try to land on the moon, because that was sort of the plan. Oh, I'm right at my apoapsis and my ascending node, right? So, if you could you point normal, please? No, anti-normal? Should be, I don't know which way, actually. Gosh, this thing barely moves. I wish I had a Kerbal who could aim it properly. Don't roll more, roll less. Go over there. Is that... That's anti-normal, that's the direction we want to go in. Timing isn't absolutely perfect. Like, I'll take it. Just gotta be patient with these older models, you know? Takes them a while to roll over. Oh, Jim's mouth is wide open. I thought he had developed some, like, cartoon villain mustache. No, that's just, like, his throat or something. Alright, we can just fire up a bit here. Okay, that... Please keep it there if you can. This is working. I'm no longer on my ascending node. Alright, so about a degree. That's not too bad. And we still have, like, a lot of delta V in this stage, just from all the fuel. I think 1 degree is fine. So to get to the moon, I would guess we want to burn about here. Oh, not too bad. Okay, so... Actually, in fact, too bad? Where the hell even... I see my closest approach. That's its position at my closest approach? I'm here and it's here? I'm off by literally 180 degrees? Okay. A little skeptical on that. Get out of here. Well, I guess ideally, I would be burning at periapsis as well. Okay, that shoots me way too damn far. Right. Because at periapsis, the burn is more efficient, so I need less of it. Okay. Why does it almost look like I'm getting something, but then it's like, this thing flashes and then disappears. It's like, oh, it's way over there. Yeah, I'm well close enough within its orbital plane. But it's going to be here. I have to fire way later. You know what? What if I just, wait in orbit? Right? Let's say I... Oh my god. Can you go away? Let's say I do fire at periapsis. More or less. Oh, also, I could have adjusted my inclination while flying over there instead of while looking. And say I fire enough to get me roughly at its orbit. Say that. And then I just, say skip an orbit. Oh, that one wasn't bad. Oh yeah, it was. This one looked okay, right? If I just take this... How do I... Oh, I have to click on this maneuver. And I say... Fine, but I'll go a little bit earlier. No? A little bit later. No. How much is this adjusting? An hour. Okay, so it's skipping an entire orbit. That's not what I want. I want to just grab this and move it over there. Something happened. I don't understand. It's saying closest approach, but target is way over there? Fine. I don't know what the hell this orbit is. So let's zoom in on the moon. And what is happening? It looks like I'm somehow coming in from behind. But that's not what it looks like here. It looks like I'm coming in on the right side of the moon, which is, I think, what I want. But then here, I'm somehow going the opposite direction. Well, whatever. This is a nice, cheap approach, even if I don't totally understand the deal. Can I... Why can I not auto-warp here to my next maneuver? 2 days. Why does it say it's only going 12 minutes? I'm too close to the planet to warp any faster, but I'm in vacuum. What? It says I'm going to get to the node in a day. If I press this button, will you warp to it? There we go. Get prograde, please. It says 22 seconds, but that's with the big engine. So I really have no idea how long this burn is going to be. Actually, my big engine should be enough to do this. Because I'm burning 673 meters per second, and I have 700 left. So fair enough. I'll burn when it says 11. Really just throwing money at the problem with this rocket. I don't have any big understanding of why my previous ones were failing, but this one is bigger, and it seems like it's solving the problems. Alright, within 2 meters per second of projected. Pretty good. Have 26 left in the stage. Might just jettison it. Don't actually have an encounter. Little insulting. I don't understand why not. Target position is here. Like, what? I mean, I will have an encounter if I just wait long enough this way. Won't I? Because I'll be going around, and eventually the moon will catch up, even if I have to wait half a month. I'm going out and back every day or two, right? Looks like about 2 days. There you go. See, we have an encounter. So I think it was seeing this coming up somehow and showing it to me. And it looks like we are going to be on the wrong side of the moon, but whatever. Maybe we can turn off SAS. I don't know what it was even pointing at. Oh, I see. We're going. I was thinking about adjusting while I was still at Kerbal. But I forgot I was on warping like times 5 million or whatever. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna come in. I still don't really understand our moon orbit. It says this is my moon escape, not my moon encounter. My moon encounter... I guess I'm going to slingshot around the back of it. And that's how I'm picking up all this extra velocity out here. So we're going to be orbiting the wrong way. But if we land, it doesn't matter. We can just take off the right way, right? And I have plenty of delta V to do that. You know, I could just set a warp. Oops. Okay, so there's my periapsis. 86 kilometers up. Pretty high. But we could just warp to here or something. Well, let's add a maneuver at periapsis so that SAS can point me. Well, SAS is going to just point me prograde anyway. I don't need a maneuver. I just want to get pointed prograde. How do I delete this fucking... There you go. I just want to get to like about here. Point prograde. Burn up the fuel in this stage, which should have almost no effect on me. And then jettison this stage. Nope, not prograde, retrograde. You're right. Oh, I'm not clicking on the line, I'm trying to click on retrograde. Well, I spent the delta V in this stage on the opposite of what I wanted to do. Would have been better off jettisoning. It's going to be so nice when this stage is gone and the whole thing just turns on a dime. There you go. So now this stage is on. And the engines do work, eh? Good. But I'll just warp to here. Yeah, loads of fuel. The Kerbal orbit going crazy until we completely get captured by... well. Alright, that should be fine. And confirm we're still doing great on electric charge. Yes. Solar panels are working when we're in the sunlight anyway. Right now we're sort of close to Kerbin eclipsing the sun, but I don't think that's a real concern. So the engine actually like gets red and then cools down eventually, right? I don't know. I assume so. So I think we've done an EVA report here, is that right? Yeah. Alright, well we won't do another then. Tell you what, we're in orbit around the moon. I think we're just gonna take a break here, and next episode we'll try landing, walking around, getting some science, maybe going home, hopefully. All of these things are questionable. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.